If there is one lens that would replace all the lenses I own, I would buy it. Unfortunately, such a lens doesn't exist. But if I've been told to use only one lens for the rest of my life, this would be it. Hey guys, I'm Saurav. Welcome to the channel. Today in this video, I'm going to talk about the 24-70mm 2.8. If you're into photography or filmmaking or both, you should definitely check out this lens. Before I dive into the reasons why I feel this lens is the perfect all-rounder, let me be very honest. I used to think this lens is the most pointless lens of all time. I mean, 24-70, 24 is not too wide, 70 not enough zoom. Why would anyone buy it? After shooting for years without this lens, I realized one thing. You don't always need extreme wide angle or extreme telephoto lenses. What you need a lot of the times is something in between them. And that is where this lens comes into the picture. The obvious reason why I'm such a huge fan of this lens is versatility. But not only because of the zoom range. Let me explain. The focal length goes from 24 to 70 millimeters. The difference between the extremes might not sound like a lot, but that's not how you judge a zoom lens. 24mm falls in the wide category and 70 falls in the tele category. The range of images you can capture using all the focal lengths in between is huge. Look at how different 35 looks compared to 24, 50 compared to 35, 70 compared to 50. If you have been using zoom lenses regularly, I'm not sure how impressed you are yet, but for someone who have been using prime lenses all the time, for me, having a lens that I can just attach to my camera and not worry about changing lenses all the time is a big deal. Yes, prime lenses are great. I love the look of it. Right now, I'm shooting with the 85 1.2 and I love the depth of field. But one thing I need to understand, and I guess I'm not alone, is depth of field is not everything. It's not worth not getting the shot. Having a lens that will allow you to get shots in different situations is sometimes more useful. A lot of zoom lenses are not constant aperture lenses, meaning the aperture will change as you zoom in. Might start from f4 and go to 5.6, 6.3 and so on. This, on the other hand, is a constant 2.8 across the whole focal range. And 2.8 is more than enough for most of the situations. If you want to shoot portraits and you need that shallow depth of field, you can zoom all the way to 70 and shoot at 2.8. While traveling, I have made the mistake of carrying a lot of lenses because I was scared to miss the shot. But the problem is, my camera bag becomes a lot heavier and carrying this camera bag for the whole day becomes very tiring. At such times, you need something like the 24-70 2.8 that will replace at least 2 to 3 lenses in your bag. And if you have someone who have carried the bag all day round, you know the weight difference makes a huge difference. I was recently on a trip to Europe. I carried the 14-24, the 35, the 85 and the 24-70. And no bonus points for guessing, this was the most used lens. There are other lenses that are similar to the 24-70, like the 24-105, the 24-120. Those are f4s if I'm not wrong. Yes, it is an f4, but you get that extra zoom range. Is it worth sacrificing that extra zoom range for a f2.8? Well, that's going to be a subjective opinion, but in my opinion, I think it is. The 2.8 comes in really handy in low-light situations. One of the misunderstandings I used to have is wide-angle lenses are the best for landscape photography. I'm not saying they are not one of the best options, but is it the best option? That's slightly debatable. The thing with wide-angle lenses is objects that are at a distance appear much smaller. But when you're using something like the 24-70, you get those in-between focal lengths, which is very useful. And I would not be surprised if I start using the 24-70 more for landscapes henceforth. I used to miss this lens most when I used to shoot streets. When I'm shooting streets, or let's say you're shooting wedding, any kind of photography genre that requires a lot of versatility, that is where you cannot go wrong with this lens. You can capture wider shots that brings in a lot of environment, a lot of atmosphere. But if you need those tighter details, you can zoom right in and get them as well. Another issue with using multiple lenses is either you have to use multiple filters or you have to use step up or down rings. And if you're looking for run and gun shooting, that can become too cumbersome. With this one, I can just use 82mm filters and I don't have to worry about switching filters or any step up down rings. I've said a lot of good things about this lens, and that is because I believe in it. I think this is definitely one of the best lenses I've used in the last few months. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have any negative side to it. The obvious thing that I don't like about the 24-70 2.8, irrespective of the brand you buy from, is it's going to be pretty expensive. This one is from Nikon, and like any first-party lens, it's super expensive and it will make a hole in your wallet. If you're not a professional photographer and you can sacrifice that 5-10% of image quality, I would actually recommend to invest in a third-party 24-70 2.8, like for example by Sigma. Pretty good lens, very similar in image quality. Irrespective of the genre you're shooting, I'm 100% sure this is going to be a great investment. If you're buying a lens for the first time, you don't own any lens, this is going to be a great first lens. It will help you to explore a lot of different genres. It will help you to get amazing image quality and again, great low light performance at 2.8. That's it from this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, press the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let's reach 1 million soon. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one.